Black World, Black World, Black World TV.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Black World TV, the new black media. Today's broadcast is about a British pedophile who operated in Malaysia and Cambodia and is now found dead in prison. One of Britain's most prolific child sex offenders, Richard Huckle is his name, has died 3 years into a life sentence for abusing Malaysian and Cambodian children, Britain's Ministry of Justice said on Monday, with media saying he had been stabbed to death. Huckle, who was 33, who abused children and babies during a 9-year period, was sentenced to life in prison in 2016 after pleading guilty to 71 offenses. Now, if you're like me, you're asking, how is it that a person can get away with so many offenses? Well, dubbed the country's worst pedophile by Britain's own media, he was found stabbed to death in prison on Sunday after being attacked with a makeshift knife, the BBC reported. HMP Full Sutton prisoner Richard Huckle died on 13th of October, a prison service spokesman said, referring to the high security jail where Huckle was being held. Quote, "It would be inappropriate to comment further while a police investigation is ongoing," unquote. Well, let me pause for a second and just say this. Most prisons, jails, halfway houses, or whatever you want to call them, hate pedophiles. And most pedophiles, just like rapists, they usually get their ass whooped or they get killed behind bars because no one likes them at all, except for maybe other pedophiles or other rapists, because after all, they're one and the same, right? But anyways, using the pretext of being a photographer, English teacher, and Western philanthropist, Huckle won the trust of impoverished families before carrying out the abuse. Now, let me pause on that point too. We see that we're talking about Malaysian and Cambodian children. Do you see how this white person focused on other people of other ethnic backgrounds to abuse and take advantage of? All the while that we have people of different races who trust these people. They trust these type of European men in their myths until they find out years later how vile, how nasty, and vulgar these people are. I'm not sad that he was killed in prison. I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm probably more overjoyed because I see pictured here a white man who used privilege and used coercion to take advantage of others. He couldn't even do it towards his own kind. He couldn't even do it towards his own kind, like other white people. He couldn't do that. No, he went to Malaysian and Cambodian children and babies and abused them instead. So people like this, I have nothing but the worst type of feeling, because I'm not going to use the word hatred in this sense. I'm going to say I have the worst type of feeling towards people like this. And yet, black Americans have to deal with white people talking about Michael Jackson and how they think that he was a pedophile. And they'll throw that out there because they want to use that as their talking point. Not that it's true, and they know it's not true. They want to say it just to try to piss you off. We have to understand that because there was no evidence on Michael Jackson. But this particular broadcast is not about Michael. It's not about the greatness of Michael Jackson at all. And then those who try to accuse him of the things that this pedophile actually did. You see, there is a total difference in these two different stories. The story of alleged abuses that they say and they assume that Michael Jackson did, where you have actual evidence of a creature like this who carried it out and then pleaded guilty to 71 offenses, when in actuality he's suspected of more than 200. But we'll get to that. So, Huckle's crimes included rapes which he filmed, photographed, and shared online with pedophiles worldwide. He may have targeted almost 200 children and boasted that those from poor communities made easier victims than well-to-do Westerners. Oh, so now we find out why it is that he chose those who were not white. Because they weren't as easy to get to. Huh. You should have... I wish they would have put something like this in the media stories when they talk about Michael Jackson. That, white victims are not easy to get to, according to this real pedophile who is now deceased. But nonetheless, he received 22 life sentences for his crimes and told he must serve at least 25 years behind bars. Well, that wasn't going to happen. That just simply was not going to happen, because most human beings would not allow him to live that long. Because it's bad enough that we know what you do, and it's a whole nother issue of having to allow you to suck up our fresh air and take up space. So I understand why they did what they did. But Huckle is one of the most prolific child sex abusers known to have operated in Malaysia, where the authorities have been criticized for failing to tackle sex crimes against children properly. So there we have it there. The Malaysian authorities, they're laxy-daisy. He also produced his own online pedophilia manual advising others on how to abuse children and escape detection, described by trial judge Peter Rook as a, quote, truly evil document. Well, anyways, that's the extent of this story. I wanted to share this with you to show you what a real life pedophile actually looks like. He's usually white, male, but often you'll find white females doing the same type of behavior. Hence why there's so many white teachers, females, who have been arrested just this past year. There's plenty of articles that you can research and find out the truth on your own. Because I've seen them. I've seen those articles. But nonetheless, this is what a real life pedophile actually looks and smells like. They have evidence and trails of evidence leaving it behind. They put out manuals on how to be pedophiles, and they show themselves filmed and photographed, and they share it online. Nothing of which Michael Jackson ever did. And white America expected us to believe their lies about one of our greatest entertainers. This is why I call white Americans liars. Because you guys lie too much. You lied about history. You lie about culture. You lie about everything that you can speak on, including religion. You gave us white Jesus and expected us to accept that. And now, with honors, we are flushing white Jesus down the toilet. Thank God. Anyways, I'm ending this broadcast, hoping you like and share. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.